We've got great offers and limited inventory. Get yours today before they're all gone. These offers won't last. Go see your local Nissan dealer or Nissan.ca for more details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
This is Sports 1440 and the all-new Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, Sam Wilness with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. Hope we're having a terrific start to your Tuesday. The show brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Go check them out. Only available in Leduc. I ran out of the stuff that I was given on Friday, unfortunately. It did not last too long in my household, although there was a couple sticks of pepperoni. I put in the fridge at the end of the day on Friday. Nobody ate them.
So I didn't know those were in there.
No, people didn't know. So I brought them back out on the counter. They'll be on in short order.
I think they might already be gone. I just went out there to rinse my coffee mug.
Oh, well, that was quick.
I just saw the loose paper. There might be shreds of half a stick in there.
Sometimes people don't want to take the last one, so they'll like
just cut off like an inch of it.
Yeah,
and be like, now it's some left for someone else.
People do that. Like there was the Smile cookies yesterday from Tim's. Great cause,
so good.
Very good cookie, and people were like taking half. That's not the spirit of the cookie. The spirit of the cookie is you take the whole thing.
Look to the cookie, Elaine. Look to the cookie.
The black and white cookie.
Mm-hmm.
You can always reach us, 1-833-401-1440. I see Oilers have been discussed recently. We can talk some Monday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys, as I think everyone had guessed, handle their business against the Vegas Raiders. A motivated group for sure, but the Vegas Raiders at this point, not the strongest football club in the NFL. We can talk hoops. We could talk soccer. Canada in action. Friendly taking on Venezuela down in Fort Lauderdale. Their last friendly or action, I believe, of the 2025 calendar year before the World Cup in Canada and US and Mexico. So that's pretty cool as well. Duke, did you go out to those games?
In the snow?
The snow games?
I did not.
Were you in Edmonton? Were you selling cars at that point?
What year was that?
2021?
No, I was farming.
Oh, okay. Those good times.
I really liked the visuals that we got from it. And, talking about the home field advantage for the Canadians playing in a game like that against, was it Mexico, I think, or something?
Ecuador, maybe?
Yeah, it's some Central South American team where, a little out of their element, to say the least.
I love that about soccer, where it's like, we don't care. We're doing that.
Well, it's like the same thing when you see teams like the Dolphins roll into Buffalo for a late January game, and all of a sudden they're playing in a off like a lakefront storm where it just dumps 8 feet of snow overnight and the wind's howling the next day and people can't even get to the stadium, but they're enlisting the help of the public to clear the bleachers so they can still host the game. It's like these preposterous notions, but people do it. People still go to the games. They enjoy it, and the players still play. So you got to give them a lot of credit.
And then, like, on the flip side, like actually taking advantage, knowing what you got, the Dolphins every September, we're going to wear our white uniforms today.
Mm-hmm.
And our sideline is always going to be in the shade.
Oh, yeah. Look, we're over here where there's shade. You go bake in the 110-degree sun on a Sunday afternoon.
There's not an advantage like that in many NHL places. There's nothing like that. I guess the Vegas flu might be
I wonder,
thing that got people
and I
a few
think that's
times?
probably worn off as
Yeah.
they've been in the league that much longer, right? I think that's fair to say. But yeah, that first year, I mean, the Vegas's home record didn't lie. Teams seem to head into an expansion city in their first team and A, take the team a little lighthearted, and B, maybe not prepare themselves the proper way and try and get a little loose with it.
Just go for a couple drinks. A couple.
A few spins of the wheel. Few hands.
I don't know if teams ever stayed right on the strip, but I'm sure very quickly they were like, yeah, this is not a good idea. Let's
go stay in Henderson.
And then I don't even know where they stay. I saw when the Oilers played Vegas the first time in the playoffs, I was looking at their coffee cups because they'd like hotel, and I was
right,
like,
you were really in the weeds.
like, where do they stay when they get there? And I think they stay like a beautiful hotel, probably like 15 minutes.
But
off the
also,
strip.
like when teams come to Edmonton, and yes, it is. Forgive me for my ignorance, like one of, if not the nicest hotels in the city, right across from Rogers Place, connected via the Pedway. T-Mobile Arena is immediately adjacent to New York, New York.
Yeah,
it's like in the same plaza, right? It's on the back side of
and
the
the
hotel.
MGM something,
and MGM's across the main MGM's across the street, but then that other MGM Grand, is that the other?
MGM Grand is the green one that's across the street.
Yeah, but then there's one immediately like not across the strip, but just across the side street.
Yeah, it used to be another name.
It doesn't matter. But my point being that you would think it would make sense for the team to stay at New York, New York, because it is essentially connected. But as you said, might be a little wiser to get guys away from there, make it a little less accessible. And if they want to do it, they're going to have to go out, get a cab, and head down to the strip.
Yeah. I think they'd probably want to stay in a nice. It used to be Monte Carlo. That's what it was before.
Right.
Stayed there once.
You don't think New York is nice?
I love the.
That's my favorite casino.
I love the casino. I love the ambiance. Coyote Ugly's there, or it used to be.
Yeah, it was.
But I don't think if I'm an NHL player, I'm staying there. I want to stay there.
Caesars. What's like the nicest hotel? I've only been to Vegas once, and we stayed at Treasure Island, which I will tell you is not the nicest.
Love TI though. Wynn would probably be one of the nicer ones, and you'd be further down the strip. Maybe you want to stay like at Resort World or Fontainebleau. I think that's a new one that's up there.
Okay.
I think I'm not that classy.
What about Luxor? That one looks cool.
I stayed Luxor. I was so mad.
Did you stay in the pyramid?
No, we were supposed to. And then my buddies got there before us. Like, hey, good news. We got us rooms beside each other. We're in the tower. And I was so angry. Met some people at the pool, though, that agreed to show us their room. It was very cool. Lived up to all the hype. But I don't know. Vegas is a heck of a town. I want to go back. At some point, I will. Nail said, Ariat, maybe. Aria? That might be it. I think that's what you said. Aria, maybe? That is a nice one. Bill says they stay at Park Hotel, kind of kitty corner. Is it Park MGM? I don't know if that's where they stay. I'd be curious, because you mentioned Edmonton as like one of the nicest. You got the J-Dub right there. Mm-hmm. And like, especially for the winter, you just walk through the Pedways and you're right there. Like,
I know a lot of the traveling media often appreciate that fact. That they don't have to go outside when they come here in January and it's 40 below.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Even if it is just across the street, they do not have to go outside.
I think the Dallas Stars stay at the Sandman.
Really?
Because doesn't their owner own it?
Oh, that'd be news to me. I believe you.
I mean, it seems like a preposterous thing to make up. I believe they stay at the Waldorf Astoria in Las Vegas. That sounds right, Jag. That sounds right, if I remember the coffee cups they were drinking from. And it's like away from the strip, but it's beautiful. But still close enough. Yeah, I don't think you want to. Even when you're in Vegas, like, could you imagine going there on a business trip? I think it'd be tough. Walking through the casino, seeing everyone having fun. Even in the room, you still kind of hear the noise. The signature attached to the MGM? That's one's behind it. I had a friend that stayed there once. I'm pretty sure Jag has it with the Waldorf Astoria, but I'm not sure. Gazzola used to tell me San Jose was really nice, the place they would stay. I imagine New York would be very cool. Kelly says the Aria or Cosmo. The Cosmo looks sick. Is that the one that doesn't have the casino?
I think so. It just has bars.
You walk through it, you're like, where am I?
Yeah, what is this
What
place?
is this place? Maybe not zoned for it. I think that happens. Anywho, Oilers last night. I don't know. Do we want to get into it, Duke? It just seems like it's just going to create negativity.
It kind of, hey, I've been in here for 4 hours already this morning. I've seen all the messages. I've read them. And here's what I will say. They're justified.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you said it when you're on with Kevin. They were second best in every single element of the game last night. And my biggest qualm with the team continues to be their play inside their own zone. And it comes in a couple different forms. Their coverage, which was really evident on a couple of the goals against, both the power play one by Noah Oslin and then his second one as well, right off a faceoff that the Oilers should have had possession of. It was in their corner off the draw, and he just swoops the net around like he's out for a Sunday skate and finishes it. But also in like breaking out of your own zone, they make it look so much more complicated than it needs to. The stretch passes are great when they work, and the Oilers have a pretty good ability to complete them. But also a 10-foot pass up to your winger and then a quick outlet to like a centerman busting up the middle. Fundamental hockey, that works too. And like it doesn't have to be a 100-foot pass to spring a guy in a breakaway every time.
It's not. I mean, you know what? Like if I take it from football, you can kind of lull them to sleep, make them respect that you might make the fundamental 10-foot pass.
Keeping them creep up a little more, and that should in theory open up the long ball, right? The home run play. So it's frustrating to watch when you know what the group is actually capable of, because you've seen it back-to-back Stanley Cup final appearances. And if we rewind to how Edmonton played from the halfway point of the first round right through defeating the Dallas Stars for a second straight year in a Western Conference final, that looked like a team that was borderline unbeatable. Right? Like it was 4 lines rolling, every single person contributing, like guys in the bottom 6 are scoring. Your top players are being your top players. The goaltending was up to snuff. All those factors. It's a slightly different looking team this year, but at its core, fundamentally is the same. And it just looks like a shell of that. And it is the same thing, top to bottom. The Sabres' fourth line shut down the Oilers' top line for the vast majority of yesterday's game. They had good shifts. Tell me. I thought Ellis played well, especially for, once again, a guy in his 4th career NHL game. But if we kind of rewind to the the Philly game, excuse me, when we were asking, like, did Dan Vladar, like, tell me 10 bell save he made? I kind of felt that same way about Ellis last night. He made 32 stops, some of them quality, but there was no big breakaway save, a huge lateral cross-ice move on an odd man rush to take away his surefire goal. None of those jump to mind in my immediate memory of the game.
And I mean, to me, that's on the Oilers.
100%.
Like, are they making goalies work for these saves?
No, I absolutely do not believe that.
And this is like, I feel like we had this discussion last year when they started slow as well. And it was all like, it was one thing that, like, they don't test goalies. They're easy shots from afar in the pads, in the crest of the jersey. And then there was also the talk like physicality last year, because only one player was doing something, and it was Corey Perry. And this year, it's that again. It's like too many guys on this team just making it so easy to play against. And then, because people will say, guys, you're missing one thing, goaltending. It's got to be better. Like last night, Stuart Skinner's save percentage wasn't great. In a game when you lose 5-1, you got to look at both of things. Well, okay, you're not going to win many games when you allow 5 goals. You're not going to win many games when you score 1 goal.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, goaltending has to be better, but I mean, they got to find some offense as well. And like you said, like, if you're going to let a goalie beat you, make them work for it. Like, make those unbelievable saves. We've seen that happen before, but I don't think that was the case last night. RBS says we have a national meeting in Las Vegas every single year. No one goes to the actual conference. It's an absolute bender and a ton of fun. Doesn't hurt when the company card is covering my bills too. Yeah, you always see there like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the people walking around with like the lanyards. And like, how serious are you taking this?
Conference in town. Not bad.
A couple hours. MTR says they've got 4 regulation wins in 20 games. They are pathetic. Effort sucks. Yeah, they are capitalizing a little bit in overtime and getting that loser point. That is true as well. JP says, can KK, Chris Knobloch, not Kevin Karius, please leave the lines alone for a game? It's ridiculous how much he's juggling. it's crazy because like how many coaches have we seen like just keep McDavid and Draisaitl apart? And this is just an example, but like they're always put back together. Like there's always that
It's like
panic.
there's magnets in them that just like it's inevitable that they will be playing alongside each other. And I'm not against loading up a top line after a penalty kill, even opening a period, or you know when you're trailing late in a game by a goal or two. Sure, I'm all for that. But when it's just like instinctual that as soon as you go down by a goal or two, and it's still the first or second period, and in last night's game, for example, like that second line, which has been very effective with Jack Roslovic playing alongside Leon Draisaitl, it had your only goal in the game. And Podkolzin had a fight standing up for his captain. Like those are things that kind of, to me, spell out, all right, here's a good look. Let's let this roll here a little bit. Instead, you resort to putting Jack Roslovic with a 22-year-old Matt Savoy and Vasily Podkolzin. It's like, all right, now go play center and do what you can with these two guys who Savoy had been playing much better as of late, but was pretty invisible last night. And Podkolzin, who we know struggles with finish and things of that nature at times, despite doing the little things correctly. So it's a total cluster, and I don't get it. I struggle to reckon with it about just immediately, all right, Leon, you're up on the top line with Zach Hyman in his second game back after not playing hockey for 6+ months.
Yeah. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. Bondacord Gray, because I feel like the coaches have lost the room. And I'm just going to wait for my texting to pop up here. Seems like the Oilers don't know what to do with the puck. They have no confidence in their plays. They always look for a pass and never shoot, which is interesting because, like, puck's on net. I mean, not all the time. You got to like quality shots, but they do seem to pass it up. Rod texting in saying Skinner is back. He has one good win against Carolina. And I'm sure there's more to it. But again, my text machine is moving incredibly slow right now. Cruffett said, what's Max Jones doing? Oh, he's down at the Condors.
Plying his trade.
10 games played for Mad Max, as I'm sure they would call him if he got the recall. Another one, Connor Clattenburg is another one people have been kind of clamoring about. I think Gregor and Sean Brown had a good discussion on that. And Brown, he kind of brought up the point, like, if you were to bring him up, like, you can't, he's not going to go up there and take on the heavyweights of the NHL. But does that maybe make some of the Edmonton Oilers like, okay, we gotta have this guy's back, and maybe he drags him into battle a little bit. You know, maybe it wakes up a Darnell Nurse or a Trent Frederick. Like, okay, if he's going to go around and fight, then we got to be ready that we might have to get in there as well. Could that be a move to, and also show that, you know, you can get rewarded from doing good things at the AHL level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting one. Max Jones, 3 points in 10 games, 14 PIMs, -5 on the season. He'd be an interesting one. We know what he is. Would he come in and run around a little bit?
And I think, like, since being acquired, I think you kind of saw that usually, like when he first landed and then got reinserted into a lineup at a couple different spots, like that first game or two.
Yeah,
he played like this is a guy that plays with a lot of speed and a lot of tenacity and can be physical. He's got size, little offensive touch to him as well. But then it fades really quickly. Now, for a call-up player, is that okay? Is bringing someone like him up and sitting someone down, whether it be a Trent Frederick based, like, I know we rewind to him dropping the gloves with Matthew Olivier and saying that took a lot of grapes. You got to give him a lot of credit for fighting up a few weight classes there as kind of a response after the 9-1 drubbing Colorado gave him. But even the rest of that game, it's not like that lit a fire under his own backside to start playing more engaged and more physical. He just, once again, he continues to look like the same player that Edmonton has known him to be since acquisition, which is not a particularly effective one in any specific realm of the game.
It doesn't put you in the good graces for 5 games after.
No, like you get your kudos, you get respect to your teammates, but now it's like, well, guess what, buddy? You still need to contribute to this team somehow. So does that come in the form of Halley scratching Trent Frederick for a game and replacing him with Max Jones? Those are decisions for the coaching staff to make, obviously. But I do think at this point it might be worth considering.
Yeah, I mean it's desperate. I mean it's curious. It'd be, for how long would it last? Is like you said, when he gets in the game, it seems like he does have that couple run where he is very noticeable. but it doesn't last that long. No name on this one, but it says in the playoffs they stay at the Waldorf. During the regular season, they stay at the M Resort, about 20 minutes away from the Strip. Well, there you go. You know what? We'll take a break here. When we come back, more text. 1-833-401-1440. We can talk Oilers. We can talk NFL. Talk whatever you guys want. 1-833-401-1440. Also on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. It is Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
You know your neighbor, right? The one who watches your house when you're away, who keeps their yard looking nice, who says hello every day. That's us. GS Construction. Now, we probably don't live right beside you, but we do live in your community. And when it comes to water and wastewater infrastructure, moving along smoothly, we're the ones doing that work. GS Construction has been doing it since 1974, over 50 years. So you could say we are your neighbors who wear hard hats and work boots. To find out what your neighbors do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Snow, colder weather, shorter days. November is officially here. But it doesn't all have to be bad news. If you're thinking about a new or used vehicle, now is the time. Massive savings, 0% financing, and don't forget tires at cost. Yes, that's right. We sell winter tires at cost. There's lots to celebrate in November. And as always, we'd like to thank all of those who have fought and served for our country. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
I'm making my list, checking it twice. And guess what? I'm giving Will Hawk Beef Jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Will Hawking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Ho, ho, ho!
Call to place your pre-order today at 780-986-2537.
Aloha Edmonton, it's back. Century Vision Care's 4th annual Maui Christmas event on Friday, December 12th from 9 to 5. Century Vision Care, Edmonton's biggest Maui gym retailer, is bringing the island spirit to your holiday shopping. Enjoy in-house savings on all prescription and non-prescription Maui gyms, plus giveaways, prizes, snacks, and beverages all day. Same-day eye exam appointments are available, and they direct bill most insurance plans. But spots are filling fast. Get ahead on your Christmas list and treat yourself to a new pair of Maui gyms. Visit Century Vision Care on Instagram.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
Who should start? Who needs to hit the bench? Find out with Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:23. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. Trent Wilhock, gotta be feeling pretty good about his boys after last night's win.
Are the Cowboys back?
Well, if they can play the Raiders every week, certainly.
They have how many games remaining? They probably have to win all but one of them to try and get a playoff spot. I'm not saying it will be done, but I'm saying it could be done.
It could be done.
The defense, I know, is the Raiders. But I do think it is drastically improved when you add 2 really good players to it.
They play the Chargers, and Quinnen Williams and Frank Clark will
Might feast.
eat Herbert alive because
Poor little guy.
essentially I'm blocking for him. It's not good. So yeah, I mean, I was happy for him. I know like the Cowboys are the Leafs of the NFL, but we're in Canada. I don't hear it all the time. So I don't hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's not shoved down our throats quite as much as like,
yeah.
And I get it. Maybe there are some individuals on our side of the border that do consume ESPN that much that they are getting it on every hour of Stephen A's show and every hour of the Mac. I mean, like McAfee, he's all over the place. So, but those are the 2 guys that predominantly are on your screen, in your ears all the time for ESPN. We don't really get that as much here because we have the Leafs version of it with TSN. I don't know. I think that when you talk about the NHL being a better place, when teams like Chicago and the Rangers and the Leafs and the Oilers, like Boston, Boston, like it's a better place when those teams are good and competitive. I kind of feel the same way about the NFL. That, yeah, it would be good if the Cowboys were making the playoffs, and they have, right? I mean, Dak Prescott has not had the best record in the playoffs, but he's gotten them there quite a few times. And then
he's a good quarterback.
Dude, when you watch him play in games like last night, I literally had the thought to myself on the couch where I was like, are we really like constantly every year just saying like this guy's like the 17th best quarterback in the NFL? Like, and I've been victim of it, or victim to it, excuse me, that why am I saying that? He's a really good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like George Pickens, man.
That catch he made out of bounds.
He is like, I don't know if it's a rejuvenation after getting out of Pittsburgh and playing with a good quarterback, but I never really bought into a ton of the Pickens hype when he was in Pittsburgh, partially because he's a nut. But man, he like Dallas has 2 very legitimate number 1 wide receivers on that team.
To me, Pickens was always like he could do nothing. He could catch 2 passes for 60 yards, and they're the nicest catches you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can he be a guy who catches 10?
And he could fist fight a DB downfield.
And he's got that element of he might punch.
Well,
you.
And
which the receiver position has missed for a long time.
Yeah, like, and I said this to Kevin earlier this week. It's like, is there not something good about a wide receiver being like a diva, right? Like they have that swagger about them. Now it can cost you at times.
Mm-hmm.
But like for last night, both him and CeeDee Lamb were benched for the first play or drive of the game. It lasted 3 plays. They went 3 and out, and they're like, all right, get out there. We can't be down 3-0 to the Raiders.
What were they benched for?
I was going to ask you if you saw anything post-game from Schottenheimer's avail, because I'm sure it got asked, but I don't know if he just said, yeah, that was a conscious decision. They did not play the first drive. They were benched, but that was the extent of their...
I saw him running and hugging them.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like some pondering decision to send them back out there for the second drive. Like they knew they were going back out there once they got the ball back. So I wonder if it was some sort of late for a meeting thing or internal type issue. We saw Keon Coleman get healthy scratch the entirety of Buffalo's game on Sunday for sleeping through a meeting.
Yeah. And we had some former players saying like, yeah, you don't usually get a full games for that. There might be more to
yeah.
that.
And I mean, and his own teammate Deion Dawkins kind of called him out in the post game, right? Saying like, yeah, he's got to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a guy with all the talent in the world coming out of FSU, and we're still kind of waiting for that next step for him, because Buffalo desperately craves a game maker or a playmaker, a wide receiver. They thought he was it when they took him in the draft, and he's been good. He's shown flashes, but I don't know. It's still kind of wait and see a little bit for him.
I might start him this week.
Keon,
yeah.
Bounce back game, revenge game against his own team.
Like, why not? Yeah.
You're going to start him against that Texans defense?
Honestly, I have to, but I'm just rolling with it. Like,
I like how you're going to justify that. Like, yeah, I might start him. Meanwhile, he's already in your lineup because he got 3 guys on bye.
I just unfortunately have to do that this week. But yeah, I mean, we liked Keon Coleman coming out of the draft. People thought he could have been a first-round pick. If you go back to it, who was taken right after him? There's a run of 4 receivers at the end of the first round going.
I know Xavier Worthy was in the mix. Did Buffalo not trade the Chiefs the pick to take Worthy?
Yeah.
Was Ladd in that stretch somewhere?
It went Pearsall, Leggett, Coleman, Ladd. 2 picks later, Jalen Polk to the Patriots.
I had higher hopes for that guy.
Me too. And hey, they've made it work, right? And then AD Mitchell went 52, and now he's on team 2.
Yeah,
already.
Yeah, that's a good point.
CD Lamb's benching. Some things were missed. That's all they would say.
Well, our good friend Eddie Steele texted in, and he said, I heard they were seen out playing cards at 7:30 a.m. and that CD was super drunk.
Like on the game day?
From Sunday night into Monday? That's wild. If true.
He went out and cut a tud? That's all right. That's interesting. Okay, well, I guess that would warrant a punishment. And then, like
3
you said,
plays? That's all. But I mean, what are you gonna do? You have to win that game.
Shoddy just like looks up to the booth and sees Jerry. Jerry's like,
Jerry just gives
the hand sign
down.
You
Get
got
him in there.
Yeah,
in there.
This is enough punishment. They've learned their lesson. That is certainly something. I'd be curious. We could ask Eddie. No names. What's the least responsible thing you've seen a teammate do?
Oh, Eddie's talked about stuff like that quite a bit on his time during the morning show. Like, and once again, don't want to name names or anything, and sometimes you be as vague as possible. But yeah, I would be interested to hear him text in maybe a specific example. But he has touched on it that guys get reckless post, but for him, he's always said it's usually post game. Like you finish and then you're just rushing as quick as you can to get out of the locker room and go to wherever.
That's fair.
It's usually with your teammates and stuff, right? Which I'm all for that. And it's football. You play one day a week. There's a ton of preparation and your body is put through the ringer. Why not reward yourself a little post game?
I mean, I wouldn't say we've all, but I'm sure a lot of us have been out at a nightclub watching the Oilers game, and then game ends and an hour later you see some of them roll in. Like, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking to the media tonight. Just shower and head out. Hey, that's the lifestyle.
Was it the legendary story of when Brett Hull and Walt Kachuk were playing in Phoenix, and they they gave up a goal late to send it to overtime, I think. And then I can't remember if it was Kachuk or Hull, which of the two it was. But they're like, F this. We have a PJ waiting for us at the airport to take us to Vegas after this game because they had a few days off or something. Goes out there, first shift, goes like hero mode and scores the OT winner. and then it's like, straight to the room, like the what's now we know is like the Matt Kachuk celebration of just straight into the tunnel and go. Get your shit on, head to the bus.
MTR said a few things here. Where do we go? Where do we go with this? If you're calling up a 20-year-old rookie to drag veterans into the fight, that's pathetic. But MTR, you also said they have 4 regulation wins in 20 games. They are pathetic. So, ergo, pathetic. Maybe that's how you fix it. Also he said at the beginning of the year that he thinks Dak is better than Hurts. Stand by it. The whole Hurts top 5 thing is wild to me. Dak is much better. I don't think there's much debate going on right now about where, as a pure quarterback, where Jalen Hurts is. He's perfect for that system. Good defense, good run game. He's got the ability to run, and he can make the throws. If it's, a pure quarterback contest, I think we all take Dak as but it's not as simple as just throwing a football.
Mm-hmm.
There's
it's
other
about
ways.
Game management. It's about situational football. And like Jalen Hurts is showing, like you said, he plays for the Eagles. He plays Eagles football in the way they're currently constructed. And guess what? They won a Super Bowl as a result. And he was excellent in that Super Bowl. He was very good. He played very well in both Super Bowls the Eagles have been to with him as the QB. First time around, they didn't have, the holding call, whatever, all this stuff. They didn't get it done. They got it done in spades this time around against the Chiefs. So you got to give him credit for that. But I'm with you. I do still like Dak a lot as a pure passer in particular.
I also think he's just one hell of a human being too.
Nice guy. He's got Darth Vader on his chest for a reason. Man of the year. I always think the Man of the Year patch
Walter
looks
Payton?
like Darth Vader.
Yeah. I can see with the cloak thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Flacco won a Super Bowl. Marino didn't. Who cares? Well, yeah, but
Joe Flacco is elite.
Joe Flacco's elite. Yeah, we all know this. We all know,
these are the things we know.
These are obvious things. I mean, I can't rip Jalen Hurts for the way he plays. Like he's effective. Is he the 6'4", 250-pound pocket passer that wins usually? No, but he's won the way he can, and he'll take it. Trav M from Hardesty. Why was Frederick better in Boston? Coaching? Culture? I don't know. Like, here's the thing. Do we just hear stories that he did it sometimes and think this is who he is? Like, maybe we should reach out to Boston and get a beat reporter on and say, like, what was Trent Frederick in Boston? How good was he? Because he was not
outside of scoring, what was it, 17, 16 goals in back-to-back years.
Yeah, but like, we expect him to be this guy who's throwing hits and fighting. He's not Milan Lucic. He doesn't have that aura about him. So like, and I didn't watch every Boston Bruins game in the last 4 years. Sure, I expect more, but is it going to happen? Like, why hasn't it happened yet? Like, if he listens to any media, he's heard it. If he goes on social media, he's probably seen it. I was assuming maybe his teammates expect it. Like, he answered the bell once against the top fighter in the league, so he knows it. But if he's not doing it game to game, throwing hits and, being that guy, maybe the rumors of his ability or style were a little bit overblown, and that's just not who he is to that level. Did you watch a lot of Boston? Like,
a lot? No.
Because we all kind of thought like he's going to be there and be a little bit more physical. He's going to do that, and he just hasn't.
After the offseason departures of Evander Kane via trade, Corey Perry via free agency, I think a lot of us kind of looked at Trent Frederick and his 8-year extension with the team and kind of said, all right, this is now his task to fill this role on the team. Be the gritty, physical, at times maybe even agitator type element that is completely absent from elsewhere on this roster. And here we are 21 games in, and with the exception of one fight against Matthew Olivier where he got his clock cleaned pretty good, and all the credit to him for standing up and dropping the mitts, he has not been that in really any sense of the words.
No. And like, maybe we need to temper expectations. We don't want to. And then also, like, I'd say, is that maybe something that doesn't come from the top? Like, are they not being told? Like, because we saw this last year. Nobody really took advantage of it. I don't know. It's frustrating because I feel like at least if he went out there and threw some hits, and there's other guys, not just him, that went and played a little more physical, maybe things be a little tougher to play against the Oilers, and maybe win over some of the fan base. But it just, and like I said, I got to reach out to Boston and ask, but maybe that's just not his game. And we heard this and we rolled with it, and we're like, yeah, this is what he can do. But for whatever reason, it hasn't happened. Maybe that changes, but we shall see. We'll take a break. When we come back, more text. We'll dive into the inbox, let you know what's coming up on the Jason Gregor Show and the Lowdown with Lowtide. It is Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Don't look now, but I think we're being followed.
Oh, that's just my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Well, they're driving pretty close.
Because they're attached.
Save up to 15% on select tires until December 13th.
Cool.
Plus, get up to $125 off a set of 4 Goodyear tires.
Anything else?
Get $50 off a $150 service when you buy those tires.
Well, that's handy.
Yep.
And weird.
Well, I love my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Book your appointment online today. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Sports 1440 is proud to support the Camrose Kinsman Radio Auction, Friday, November 28th from 6 p.m. to midnight on our sister station, New Country 98.1. All proceeds go to the Kinsman Club of Camrose to serve the community's greatest needs. Find out how to donate at sports1440.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Every coach needs a game plan. Plan your fantasy frenzy with Halley and Douglas right here on Edmonton's Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:40. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas with you here. This segment for elksnation.ca, 2-weekly podcast with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold. It will continue all off-season long. Interviews with alumni and current players. A lot of great stuff. Also articles at elksnation.ca. Bad Niv says, you don't have to score every game, but you got to hit every game. Player says, on the bright side, we've got 7 more years of Frederick. And Trav M says, why did it take so long for him to fight? You would think after 3 games, someone might tell him to be more aggressive and get it together. And Trav, that's why I'm saying, like, what we don't necessarily know what's being preached. I mean, we've heard it in the past, you know.
Well, I think if
you're hitting, you don't have possession, right?
And I think we know that the physical play is not exactly at the top of the head coach's agenda. Like that's he would rather his team, like you said, Connor, play with the puck. And if you don't have it, you're working on getting it back as quickly and efficiently as possible, which, you know, some of the numbers tell us that hitting and throwing your body around isn't necessarily the route to doing that. Now, pundits will argue, and I would put myself among this, that there's a reason physicality is still a valued trait in the game and has been essentially since its inception, that when you look at the Oilers, they're not a physical team. And I think I don't need them to go out and throw 40 hits every night. But when you're in a funk and you're not playing well, changing what you do, even to a minor level, can have positive responses.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, and it doesn't have to be crazy, like, I don't know, give me the biggest hitter you know type hits. But like when the puck is dumped into the corner, throw a hit, you know, on the defender, make him know it, and that can lead to rushing, making a bad outlet pass, whatever it might be. Those things matter, and to have no physicality, it's just, I mean, you're just easy to play against. I sent a message out to a Bruins beat reporter to ask about the Trent Frederick scouting report prior to his time in Edmonton, just to see what he thinks. We'll see if Jimmy gets back to me.
Jimmy.
It might be tomorrow, and then people will be confused what I'm talking about. But that's okay.
Let's loop back around.
Yeah.
Let's put a pin in it.
Let's go back to yesterday's conversation. Coming up next, it is the Lowdown Flow Tide. Dude, it's going to be a fun show, isn't it?
I would think so.
You got
it
the lineup?
Usually is. I do have the lineup. It's the usual suspects on a Tuesday.
Donovan Paulson
will be in. They will have Daniel Nugent-Bowman on, another edition of Hi, My Name Is, and plenty of Oilers talk, I'm sure. That'll probably dominate the next 2 hours on this station and well beyond into the Gregor Show starting at 2.
Yeah. And then at 2 o'clock on the Gregor Show, Keith Gretzky, Oilers assistant GM and Condors GM, joins us, brother of Wayne. Best brothers in NHL history.
What about Brent?
Yeah.
Played in the NHL.
Doesn't diminish what I'm saying. All of them together. Are they the best brothers in NHL history?
As a collective, no.
Stahl's pretty impressive.
Stalls are good. Sutters have the numbers.
Sutters got the
in
numbers.
Both brothers and production. The Howe brothers, Mark and Marty.
Yeah.
The Niedermeyer brothers.
Niedermeyer's. The cousins, you throw Stretty in there?
True. The extended family.
People forget.
Yeah, if we're going extended family, and once Gavin McKenna joins, I think cousin or second cousin, Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
It's all very exciting.
Speaking of the Niedermeyers and their cousin Stretty will be by today at 3:20. We've got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine will hop on at 4:20. Then Spec and DVD join us to round out the hour. Guys, I can tell you they aren't preaching a zero stat like every game.
That's probably true. But at a certain point, if this is the culture, the style that you ingrain in a team, whether it be like in Frederick's case since arriving last year at the deadline, through a training camp, like at a certain if that is what you are ingrained to do, it to me that does make it tougher to snap your fingers and change.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some players I think would do that easier than others. We've seen a guy like Zach Hyman do it, right? When he was going through a little bit of a scoring slump, he did just go out there and hit literally everything that moved.
Yeah.
That is the player he is. He is versatile. He is adaptable. He can play a fourth line role with a physicality and grinding nature, puck retrievals, or he can play alongside Connor McDavid and cash in 54 goals in a season. So not every player is like that. I hate to tell you. I hate to break it to you. Some guys just can't switch on a dime.
Isn't that so weird? To me, from an outsider, like how hard is it to throw a hit? Like not every time, but just when you're in position. You don't got
to go to the way.
You're not a heat-seeking missile, but like players on the boards, finish your hit. It doesn't seem that hard, and I feel like everyone watching hockey probably thinks that way. Like, just hit sometimes. Doesn't have to be every time. Did you see the news? Edmonton and Red Deer to host the 2027 World Juniors?
I did not. That's exciting.
That is exciting. That came down just within the last hour here.
When was the last, besides the COVID stuff, which was a bit of a mess for a few years consecutive, was it 2012, the last when Edmonton and Calgary were the two host cities?
And they played the gold medal game in Calgary and lost? Or was it even before that? They were undefeated in Edmonton, I thought.
Yeah. I know I went to a game here in Edmonton. I watched the USA play the Czechs. And if my memory serves me correctly, I believe it was Peter Mrazek, actually, that led the Czechs to a upset victory over the States in the round robin.
It'll be the fifth time Alberta has hosted the event. Edmonton last hosted in 2022. Red Deer was supposed to a few years ago.
Well, and they did, right? They started to host a couple games right after Christmas before it all got shut down.
Because one didn't a player test positive.
I think so, yeah. And I went to a game on Boxing Day, Sweden, Russia, I think it was. Really good game.
So this year's event is going to be Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then Edmonton, Red Deer after that. So very cool.
Very cool.
Do you remember during COVID when the WHL started playing and Red Deer players were living in their suites?
Yeah.
That was so cool. That was going to camp with your buddies. That would have been such a fun experience.
Yeah. Would you want to do that as a 30-year-old, 10-year pro in the NHL? Probably not. But as like a 16 to 18-year-old kid playing with a bunch of your buds that it's junior hockey, I think that would be pretty awesome.
You're like kind of living on your own, but not. Like,
yeah.
I think they all had like TVs and the beds. And
I'm sure they hey, the Rebels, they're one of the marquee organizations across junior hockey. The Sutters do a great job with it. I'm sure they made sure they were well looked after.
Oh, I remember seeing it, and I think we might have had one of the Sutters on when it happened. Yeah, I've got the picture right here. I probably can't pop it up on the stream or anything. And for those listening, it does you no good. But they had like a little couch and their bed set up, TV. Probably sit on the outer part and talk to the guys. Just probably yelling at each other. A lot of hooting and hollering before bedtime. But yeah, that was a crappy situation. But they kind of made it fun. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. Again, my text line is just womp. It womps right now.
Well, I don't know if you knew earlier this morning, Connor, but the essentially large portion of the entire internet were kaputzed.
My computer is feeling it today.
Twitter was down. I couldn't get my show lineup tweeted until like 7:02.
Oh.
Canva was down.
Not Canva.
For Josh, we were in a hard spot where we're going to have backgrounds for the YouTube stream, amongst many other spots but I mean, for me, it was Twitter. That was, I was like, what's going on? I can't get the lineup tweeted.
Corey from Beaumont says, how about the Ricard brothers?
Richard brothers.
Sorry, Richard.
The
Henry and the Rocket?
Well, yeah. Henry Richard, 11 Stanley Cups.
The Pocket Rocket?
Is that good? Yeah, that's what they called him. The Pocket Rocket.
Richard. Sorry for mispronouncing.
And then Fire X Corey. Cool handle. The Stastnys.
That's a good family.
Well, yeah, because there's the three brothers, right, originally that defected from Czechoslovakia. And obviously Paul, who played for United States internationally. He had an excellent NHL career.
Yeah. Spaghetti says, and this is probably echoes a lot of people's thoughts. I don't understand how they're not already getting angry enough to throw the body around. Getting pumped by Buffalo can't even light a little spark. Come on, man.
So I'll leave you. This will be my final question to you for the show. And I'm stealing it because someone texted it in earlier this morning. Do you think that losing to Buffalo 5-1 last night is worse than losing to Colorado 9-1 a couple Saturdays ago? Colorado's the best team in the NHL by a pretty wide margin at this stage of the year.
I would say so.
You thought last night was worse?
I mean, you're down 5-1 to Colorado. You're checked out, right?
Right.
Like they were already moving on.
5-1 to 9-1. It's like, dude, this game is a wash.
Doing it to Buffalo.
A Buffalo team that was without like 5 of their top 9 forwards.
Yeah. I think even like the fashion. You're losing that
bad. They were
bad.
outclassed in every element of the game.
Like, do something. Show you're pissed off. Do something.
Go after Tage Thompson.
Like, why?
I mean, he's a big dude, but it's not like he's got a reputation of dropping the mitts every third night.
Yeah. Bully him a little bit. Do something. Triple Cena Truck says, I delivered all the pucks for the junior event when it was canceled in Edmonton. If I known it was getting canceled, I would have taken a bunch. Hindsight.
And so once they did end up playing that tournament, which came in August, if my memory serves correct, maybe even the next year, because didn't the 1 year entirely get canceled? That was the McTavish. Knocks it down on the goal line, Mason McTavish.
Oh, yeah.
And then back the other way, golden goal. Kent Johnson, maybe?
Mason McTavish. What a stud.
Ducks legend. Big Ducks win last night. Tied it with 5 seconds left. Win an OT over the Mammoth.
2 good young teams there.
That was a fun. I watched because it started right after the Oilers game ended. I watched it all. It was back and forth, a lot of pace.
What
really
a contrast.
Exciting. Yeah, very different from what I'd watched from 5 o'clock to 7:45.
He's talking about, I assume, the Red Deer situation during COVID. Imagine a Chell turning on the Jumbotron. That would be wild.
That would be fun.
Oh, that'd be crazy. I went to a stag once in just outside Kelowna, and it was like this big mansion house, and they had a huge screen like that. And they said no video games.
What?
We set up
Why?
a few video games. It was like a big projector. It was bad for the bulbs or whatever.
Oh, I see.
Maybe we played. Babs is the Dryden Brothers. Another good one. Dusty says, after tonight, assuming the Blues don't get lit up against the Leafs, the Oilers will be on pace to have the worst team save percentage since 15-16. Haven't looked further back than that. And you don't have to. I mean,
that's
bad. Yeah, like, it's bad. It's got to be better. It's not the only thing, though. Everything has to be better.
They've got it. I mean, hey, it's not going to get any easier here. You play a back-to-back against the Capitals and the Lightning, and I know the Capitals haven't looked like the President's Trophy team winning they were last year, but Ovechkin maybe starting to heat up a little bit. Logan Thompson's been arguably the best goalie in the NHL here through the first 2 or 1.5 months of the year. And Tampa, I understand they're struggling a little bit right now, especially in goaltending. Vasilevsky looks very unlike himself, but man, they're still a good club with a lot of good players. It's not going to be any easier here to finish up this road trip with those 2 games. And then where are they over the weekend to close it out?
Florida. Panthers.
Florida. Oh, yeah, right. Of course. The old
juice for that one.
The old peas.
Bud Baker says, I think it's pretty pathetic when the Oilers lose. They get embarrassed. They send with the bottom players to meet the media after the games and not the leadership group. That was kind of after the 9-1 loss. But like media gets to make their picks at home.
But think, at home, the entire contingency of the press corps is there.
Yeah.
On this road trip, I hate to say it, but like the only media that is there are Oilers employees.
Essentially, yeah.
It's Gene and Tony. They're the only ones asking questions in the scrum from the Oilers side of things.
So last night, Kulak and Podkolzin spoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'd love to hear from the captain after that, right? Some of the leadership group, I would think. I'd like to hear Hyman speak after. Not blaming him, but I think he's someone who actually, when he speaks to the media, he gives you well thought out answers. Yeah. I'd like to see what he says.
Kevin has said it. He's a very strong believer in the fact that Zach Hyman is the de facto leader of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He doesn't wear the C. That's obviously Connor McDavid, but he is the emotional, the vocal leader of this club.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not too many games where you just look at him and say, man, he was bad.
Yeah.
Because if he's not scoring,
where was his effort?
He's going to give you an effort. He's going to do something. Pete says the Mahavlich brothers, and then MTR says there's a good chance they lose every game this week.
Last one, Esposito brothers.
That's another good one too.
Nobody texted that in. I'm surprised.
A Duke original.
Yeah, me and the Espos were tight.
Music means we're done. 23-hour break. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again. Up next, it is the Lowdown Flow Tide, followed by the Jason Gregor Show for the Duke, Josh, and Sam. I'm Connor Halley. Check the podcast if you missed anything right now. Sports 1440 update with Sam, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Go check them out. Only available in Leduc.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Eight games in the NHL tonight with the Blues and Leafs getting things started. Devils and Lightning go head-to-head in Tampa. Kraken traveling to Detroit. Islanders take on the Stars. Flames and Blackhawks take the ice in Chicago. Rangers and Golden Knights square off. And the Mammoth and Sharks wrapping things up. Oil Kings on the road tonight as they head to Penticton to take on the Vs. Puck drop at 6:30. 6 games in the association tonight as the Warriors and Magic kick things off. Pistons and Hawks go head-to-head in Atlanta. Celtics and head to Brooklyn. Grizzlies square off with the Spurs. Lakers take on the Jazz. And wrapping things up, the Trailblazers and Suns wrapping things up. And also, Canadians men's soccer team has a friendly with Venezuela, last one of 2025 for them, with things getting started in Fort Lauderdale at 6:30. Coming up at the top of the hour, it's the Lowdown with Low Tide here on Sports 1440. And this has been your Sports 1440 update with Sam Wilness.